In the beginning, Pepperidge Nursing and Rehabilitation allowed residents and their pets to come to live. As the small town nursing home grew and figured out what itself and nursing homes should be, the residents came and went. Some home and some to their final resting place. Since 1938, we have cared for our residents and given them a loving, comfortable home to enjoy their time. September 3rd, Clive wants coffee. It's a bright, beautiful, sunny day, and I'm going to spend it at Pepperidge with, not farm, but Pepperidge with my residents. I type the newly changed access code to walk in the front door and uh, walk in the front door. It's 1:50 p.m. and I already wonder if the dead are going to drive me insane with the living. Don't get me wrong, I understand some of them don't understand their predicament. Dementia and dying are hard to deal with, so I try my best daily. I clock in and walk past the hall A and down hall B, saying good afternoon to the hall B nurse, down to hall C, and take a right to go to the desk to ask if anybody new came in, if there's anything new, and to tell him to have a good night. Then I go down to the secure unit at the other end of 3 and its new monthly code and put in its new monthly code. I can't talk tonight, I apologize. And walk in. Sylvia is ready to give me a report. Miss Chili fell and was sent out, and everyone was doing their usual. As she is talking, I see Clive hasn't left yet. He's trying to get TJ, the med aide, to see him. He wants coffee. TJ can't see the spirits as far as I know, so Clive just gets more agitated. September 14th. Miss Phelps is still knitting. There have been many days where Miss Phelps and I would talk before she went to sleep. I would come help her get ready for bed and find her sitting in her comfortable recliner, singing quietly as she knitted a new item scarves, socks, coasters, etc. As we did her nightly ablutions and dressed for bed, she would tell me stories of her life. Tonight was different. Good evening, Miss Phelps. How are you? I smiled at her. She lay there and didn't move. Her eyes were sunken. We seemed to be getting close to the time I never look forward to, no matter how long I've been a CNA. I did an assessment of how she seems to be doing. I'll be back shortly. After my round, I will come sit with you for a bit, I assured her. I could feel the tears wanting to well up, but I had to do my job. The others needed to be cared for as well. After making sure everyone had ice, water, and were as comfortable as possible, I came back and sat next to her holding her hand. It was surprisingly quiet tonight. After my second run of the night, I ended up meeting my charge nurse, Lanessa, and asked as she checked on Miss Phelps. She passed away while I was doing the last round. She made her new notes as tears started to fall down my cheeks. I went to get the supplies to give her the last care I will ever give. I wiped away my tears as I said goodbye when I finished the last part of Miss Phelps' life care. Left her to go answer the ending call lights. The funeral home came to whisk her away for their part of the process relatively soon, about 5 a.m. I continued my last round as I chugged through the end of the shift. Letitia came in late the next morning. Her eyes caught me. Makeup and eyelashes on point, but in the tired pain sitting in those beautiful brown eyes. I hugged her and gave her the report. As for her stuff, no pushing, not my business, as she deemed so. I got home and found out Marnie was off, so We got the kids off to school and went back to bed. She got up later and I slept until 6 because she was home to get the kids. We did homework and had family dinner. I went back at 9:50 to start all over again. I'm toddling along to get everybody willing to finish with the bedtime routine and into bed. I stop dead in my tracks as I hear a voice I shouldn't hear. I glance over to see Miss Phelps knitting and singing a song I can't fully hear. September 23rd. All the emotions at once. I made it home and sat in the driveway to breathe. The tears started rolling hard. I couldn't tell if it was relief, fear, or confusion. That bothered me more than the night before. More than one resident has claimed they had seen the little boy before they passed, but I'd never seen him before. The fact that he was sitting in the corner of the ceiling above Miss Catherine's bed singing five little speckled frogs, like my youngest favorite girl does constantly throughout the day, chilled my bones. As my mind was dealing with the fearful realization, Miss Catherine gave a final death rattle. Her spirit got up and walked through the wooden door, leaving an imprint of her face that even Imani hadn't seen. If another CNA didn't see it too, she would have not believed it. No, yeah, yeah, she would not have believed it. I can't tell if it's a real child or another type of being. None of us have for the past 3 generations. Like he is tied to the land but not the building. Is it something else than a concerned boy? The passenger side of the car opened, startling me out of my terrified thoughts. Marnie sat down and shut the door. "Oh, baby, was another resident's death or an encounter that has you like this?" she inquired as she rubbed my arm. Miss Catherine passed, and the little boy was singing Tilly's song. I blurted, having no idea how else to put it. "Cherry Pie, come inside and I'll hold you on the couch while you tell me all about it," she kindly directed me as she opened the door. I wiped my nose and eyes on the short sleeve of my scrub top and followed. We laid on the overstuffed couch. She threw a blanket on top of me and let me lay on her chest as I told her about finally seeing the little boy ghost. I walked in for my rounds. He was as they described him: brown pants with suspenders and a white shirt, so pale and sitting upside down in the corner. Like his song would do something for her. It was soft and eerie sounding. I explained as tears fell down my face. Marnie stroked my hair as we talked. "From all you have told me over the years, he doesn't like for the residents to die alone. Does something about this bother you?" she inquired, not understanding. Not being medium mystic or spiritually inclined made some things hard to understand. Her first ghost experience hadn't been until their first date. I looked all I took all the stories to heart. Even my aunt Janice had stories of the little boy when she worked there. My grandmother had stories too. Neither said they truly understood. I didn't want Miss Catherine to pass alone, so I went to see if I was too late. Luckily, I was not, but he showed himself to me. I had pulled a chair to the side of her bed ju- and just held her hand as her breathing began to get worse. I tried my best to sing. I just let the tears fall silently. I heard a little boy singing the speckled frog song. At, as her at her last breath, he showed himself, and I fell out of the chair while staring wide-eyed at him. She got up and walked through the door, her body still there. When I stood, I saw her face print on the door. I ran to get Amani to come look at the door. She saw it too. Marnie's shirt was damp with the tears. I jumped as Drops of Jupiter by Train started playing on her phone on the table beside the couch. Marnie turned it off. She smiled and said, "Cherry Pie, let's go get our babies ready for school so you can go to bed."